All right, happy Thursday, everybody. Give me 1 minute, get myself situated here. All right, hold on. If anybody has any wins they want to share, just give me 2 minutes. Questions they want to ask. All right. All right, here we go. Excuse me. All right, let's do it. All right, so we're going to do something a little bit different here today. We're going to look at things from a different perspective. So I'm a big sports guy, and obviously we have the World Series going on here in the next starting tomorrow. We're going to have the Dodgers and the Yankees, which is going to be the most watched, most expensive World Series in history, which would be fun. So, anyways, I thought to myself, you know, I spent a lot of time analyzing and looking at things that from athletes. Michael Jordan's obviously the big one for me. That's kind of where I get my whole winning mentality, winning mindset, all those things from. But what I gathered here is I got a bunch of I've studied a bunch of different athletes, and what I did is I kind of looked at some common themes for all of them and then put them in categories to think about what can real estate agents learn from top athletes? What is it that they do at a really high level that maybe we can learn from and implement in our business? That's kind of the mindset that we had put together for this particular class. So, without further ado, I got a bunch of notes here. And so, what I have is a bunch of, again, some categories with a bunch of quotes from athletes in that particular regard. So first, they're not written in any particular order of importance. They're just written as you like them. So first thing I wrote down here, what real estate agents can learn from top athletes. They are willing to fail. They're willing to fail. And a couple quotes I wrote down here is this was actually a commercial from Michael Jordan. And he says, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Okay. A couple more here. LeBron James says, don't be afraid of failure. This is the way to succeed. Okay. Charles Barkley says, if you're afraid of failure, you don't deserve to be successful. Wayne Gretzky says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Babe Ruth says, never let the fear of striking out get in your way. All these particular things, right? Billie Jean King, champions keep playing until they get it right. These are top athletes all talking about not being afraid of failure or accepting failure as part of their person of who they are, and that is why they succeed at such a really high level. Okay, so you translate that to real estate. You have to be willing to fail. Well, what's failure in real estate? Well, prospecting, lead generation, that's failing because you're getting told no all the time. You're getting rejected all the time. That's part of it, but you have to be okay with it. Looking at Michael Jordan's quote, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. Well, think of that from prospecting. I made 10,000 contacts this year. 9,990 and 50 of them told me to get the hell out of here or no, I'm not interested. But that means I closed 50 deals, but I had to fail over and over again. That's part of the gig. And what I wrote down here with real estate, if you want to know what the top real estate agents do, they get told no the most. You look at people like Mark and Al, or Marty or people like that. I'll bet if I looked at their numbers, they've been told no more than everybody else. It's just that because they get told no more, they get told yes a little bit more. You can't be afraid to fail in real estate. And that's why sometimes agents will come to me and they'll say, hey, I have an idea. What do you think? And my response is always, I don't know, try it out. I don't know if it'll work, but I know it won't work if you don't try it. And if you fail, so what? If it doesn't work, so what? But you can't be afraid to fail. That's part of the business. That is the key to success. Now, I wrote down underneath this though, if we expand it a little bit further on these quotes from some of these athletes, what they'll probably tell you though is that they learn from their failure. So you have to be willing to fail, but then learn from your failure. Don't make 100 contacts, get told no 100 times, and then just think, well, I'm just failing. That way I'll succeed. No, what'd you learn from that? If I asked, Michael Jordan, hey, you lost 300 games. Did you learn anything from that? Yep, I learned this, this, and this, and that's why I ended up winning this many games. Right? So you have to think about not only the failures that you have, and failures okay, but learning from those failures as well. All right, they're willing to fail. All right, next thing I wrote down here, what they can learn from top athletes. They don't let others get them down. They don't let others get them down. So some quotes on that. So Michael Phelps, most gold medals in history, says, "You dream, you plan, you reach. There will be obstacles, there will be doubters, there will be mistakes, but with hard work, with belief, with confidence and trust in yourself and those around you, there are no limits." Okay, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, another Olympic medalist, says, "Age is no barrier, it's a limitation you put on your mind." Okay. Muhammad Ali, impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential, impossible is temporary, impossible is nothing. Okay. Michael Jordan says, last one I wrote down on this one, obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. These are all quotes from different athletes talking about how they don't let others or other things get them down. Okay. All of them are saying, yeah, there's going to be obstacles. There's going to be challenges. Michael Phelps says there's going to be doubters. Jackie Joyner-Kersee says age is no barrier, because there's probably others saying, oh, you're too old to be an Olympic track star, right? Muhammad Ali talking about people saying, oh, it's impossible for you to do that. About the opposite way. There's always going to be others, people telling you can't do it, obstacles in your way. But these top athletes, they don't let those things get them down. They just accept that that's part of the gig, and they get over it. They move past it. And you think about that in real estate, because it's like, well, how many people tell you in real estate, don't do that? That's not going to work. How about right now? Oh, you shouldn't be working right now. No one's going to buy or sell during the election. No one's buying or selling during the fourth quarter. Oh, you still cold call? You still door knock? Like all those things that people are going to tell you that are going to doubt you, right? Obstacles in your way. That's not even a thing. NAR could be an obstacle for some people. That's just part of the gig, right? Oh, it's taking longer for my listings to sell. Okay, well, then you got to find a way to make it happen. But don't let others get you down. Don't let the obstacles get in your way. So what I wrote down underneath this is the key to that, though, is you have to have a very clear goal and a strong connection to your goal. You have to have a very clear goal and strong connection to your goal. Because if you don't have a clear goal and a strong connection to your goal, then anybody can take you off. So let me give you an example. So years ago, I had this whole idea, like, I'm in relatively decent shape now, not in my fighting weight, as you would say, right? But years ago, I let myself get a little bit out, right? And I would tell myself, oh, no, no, no. Yeah, I gotta get back in the gym. I gotta get back doing my exercises and all that other stuff. This was, I don't know, like 20, 25 years ago. Well, yeah, that was a goal, but I didn't have a strong connection to my goal. So if people said, oh, no, hey, instead of going to the gym, do you want to go here? Yeah, let's go. Oh, no, no, don't go to the gym right now. Go right now. Okay, let's go. Right? Because it was just, I could be easily taken away from it, and those are just obstacles that sometimes you have to overcome. But if you have a strong goal, a strong plan, then it's like, no, nothing's going to get in my way, you know, oh, you could throw this at me. I used to always use the example of American Gladiators. Anyone here ever watch or see the show American Gladiators back in like the 90s or 80s, whatever the case may be? And if you've never seen, no, the concept of the show was you'd have this guy or gal, and they'd stand here, and then there'd be the end goal right at the end, and it's like, all right, you got to get there. The problem was between here and there, you'd be going forward, and then some dude named Blade, who was like 6'5", 240, would try to just like tackle you down. And if you somehow got past Blade, there was some lady named Laser who was just like totally jacked that would just like slide in and like try to take you down. And you're just like, Jesus. And then as you got past that, then there was another guy named Turbo, and he's like throwing balls at you. And you're just like, what the hell? And they used to call. And then at the very end, if you got past all that, there was somebody named Nitro who had like a jousting stick, and he was trying to like knock you down. That was all these things on American Gladiators, right? And so I always think about that of these quotes, right? They don't let us get them down, they'll get obstacles in the way, because American Gladiator was like, yeah, but I got to get to the end. Well, that's real estate. That's life in general. Is like, hey, I want to get there. I want to get to the end. I can see it. But you have to have a really strong connection with it, because if you don't have a strong connection to that end goal, then the first time Blade comes out, you're just gonna be like, all right, never mind, I'm out. Yep, I'm done. Right. So I always kind of compared it to American Gladiators. But that's what these athletes do. They don't let others get them down. They don't let those obstacles get in the way. There's always going to be doubters, and all these other different things. So, don't let that be the thing that prevents you from being successful in real estate. And that's the problem with real estate more than a lot of other industries. There's a lot of doubters. There's a lot of people that say it's a waste of time or don't do all these things. And it's like, okay, so you have to be really careful with that. All right, the next thing I wrote down here that we can learn from top athletes, they go all in. They go all in. So what does go all in mean? So here's some quotes from some of these athletes. This ones I found a lot on. So Derek Jeter, speaking of the Yankees, says there may be people that have more talent than you, but there's no excuse for anyone to work harder than you do. Arnold Palmer, golfer, says always make a total effort even when the odds are against you. Pat Riley, Hall of Fame coach, says there are only two options regarding commitment. You're either in or you're out. There's no such thing as in between, right? Jerry West, you can't get much done in life if you only work on the days you feel good, which is one of my favorites, right? Wayne Gretzky, the highest compliment you can pay me is to say that I work hard every day, that I never dog it. Joe Namath, Super Bowl winning quarterback. If you aren't going all the way, why go at all? Okay. George Halas, Hall of Fame coach. No one who gave his best ever regretted it. Okay. And this is one of my all-time favorite quotes is from Kobe Bryant. It says, I can't relate to lazy people. We don't speak the same language. I don't understand you. I don't want to understand you. So there's all these quotes essentially talking about athletes saying, you got to go all in, right? Give it your all. Work harder than everybody else. Give it your total effort. And you think about that with real estate is, okay, well, what does that mean to go all in? Well, the problem is in real estate, and some of you, this might not apply to you, but some of it does, is you're kind of half in, half out. It's like, yeah, I got this real estate thing, but I got this other thing. If this real estate thing doesn't work out, that's okay. It's kind of half in. It's like, all right, well, what if you just went all in? Or maybe you can't. Maybe it's like, hey, look, I've got a situation where I make a lot of money on this salary job, so I can't go all in on real estate. Or hey, look, man, I'm a single parent or something like that, so I need some guaranteed income. Okay, well, what if you set aside a certain number of hours each day or each week with real estate, and on those hours you went all in? Right? Because here's the reality, and it's not just real estate, it's independent contractors in general and any sales, is that it takes most people 75 hours to do a 40-hour work week, or their 40-hour work week, they only work 20 hours of it because they're not all in. What if you just went all in on the time you were scheduled to go to work? What if you just said, hey, here's the time I'm going to start, here's the time I'm going to stop, and between now and then, you're getting the best of me. right? I'm going all in. I'm going to do my prospecting every day. Or, like as Jerry West said, you can't get much done in life if you only work on the days when you feel good. Do you feel like prospecting every day? No. Hell no. And if you say you do, you're a liar. Okay? You don't feel like prospecting every day, but you do it on the days you don't feel good, right? You still got to go do it. If it's a scheduled day off, take the day off. But if it's not, you still got to get up and do the thing. Yeah, you got to bring it every single day. Go all in. Robert, I can only work 6 hours a day. Great. Then go all in on those 6 hours. What does that mean? Okay, well, let's see. If you had 6 hours to work and you did 30 minutes of script practice and 30 minutes of listing presentation practice, there's 1 hour. If you did 2 hours of prospecting, lead generation, all right, there's 3 hours. You had 1 hour available for admin or learning or anything along those lines. All right, there's 4 hours. And then you did some virtual previews, or you went out previewing for 30 minutes or so. Okay, there's 30 minutes, which gives you an hour and a half for showings and listing appointments. What if that was your 6 hour day every day? There's no breaks. Can't take a break, right? Maybe a 10-minute break, 15-minute break here and there. But what if you just did that for 6 hours straight? Be incredibly successful. All right. So go all in, not with this. Yeah, you know what? I'm prospecting. Yeah, I'm going to do some prospecting today. Well, what are you going to say? I don't really have time to practice or work on a script. It's like, well, then you're not all in. You're not fully committed, right? Go all in with the time that you have. Otherwise, as Pat Riley said, you're either in or you're out. There's no such thing as in between. Okay. And if you want to be out, be a referral agent or be an assistant or something like that. There's plenty of opportunities for you. But man, just imagine if you just went all in every day that you're scheduled to work for the hours that you were scheduled to work. And for some of you, maybe that is 8 hours. For some of you, maybe it's six. For some of you, maybe it's five. But even if you went all out for 5 hours every day, that you were scheduled to work, you'd be far more successful than agents that, allegedly do it full time. Because like I said, most agents that do it full time, it would take them 15 hours to do an 8 hour day, which means it doesn't happen. So just go all in, or that's always been my mentality, by the way, when it comes to winning. If I don't have a chance to win, I don't want to do it. Not because I'm a sore loser. I don't mind losing, but if I don't have a chance to win, I don't want to do it. So like if you said, "Hey man, you want to play this video game?" Like, "No." Why? I don't know how to play. Well, we're playing for fun. No, you're playing for fun. I want to win. And it's not fun. It's not fun for me if I don't even have a chance to win. Like if I have a chance to win and you beat me, that's fine, fair game. But if I don't even have a chance to win, I don't want to play. Right? Because I'm either all in or all out. Right? There's no fun for me in this. So, and some people might think, well, that's kind of intense. Well, that's just my mentality. That's what I want to win. Right? So I'm either all in or all out. And that's why, and it's the same type of thing. Hey, do you want to go do this? No. Why? Because I'm not interested in it. So there's no reason for me to half-ass it. You know? Well, you're going to work today. Yeah, I'm all in. You ever get tired? I'm tired every freaking day. I'm tired every day. Okay. But if I'm not going to give it my all, then I'll just take the day off. Right. There's no reason for me to go to work and half-ass. There's no reason for me to come to a training class and be like, all right, well, I'm tired today. I don't really feel like doing this. So let's just get through it. F that, man. Like, we're either going to do it or I'm just going to take the day off. Right. So just go all in on the days that you're scheduled to work and the hours you're scheduled to work. Accomplish some amazing things. All right. Next thing I wrote down here, what we can learn from top athletes. They prepare. They prepare. So, a couple quotes on that. Bobby Knight, legendary basketball coach, a controversial coach, no doubt about it, but legendary. The key is not the will to win. Everybody has that. It is the will to prepare to win that is important. Okay. Jerry Rice, football player, says, "Today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow's I can accomplish what others can't." Okay. Bobby Unser, NASCAR driver, says success is where preparation and opportunity meet. Dom Hudson, Hall of Fame wide receiver, for every pass I caught in a game, I caught 1,000 in practice. Mark Spitz, Olympic gold medalist. If you fail to prepare, you're prepared to fail. Right. So all these different quotes talking about these athletes, and they prepare for, and it's all for, I mean, they're all from different walks of life. It's not like, yeah, well, basketball players, baseball. No, I mean, that was a NASCAR guy, Muhammad Ali, the boxer, a coach, all kinds of different things, but they prepare. But I like what Bobby Knight says. The key is not the will to win. Everybody has that. It's the will to prepare to win. Okay, that's important because everybody wants to go on the listing appointment. Everybody would love to go on a listing appointment. But the difference is, are you doing all the necessary things to get to that appointment? And that's what's funny. That's why people buy leads. Oh, I want to buy listing leads because those people are already ready to sell. So it's like I've skipped a step. Like, no, because what are you going to say to them when you get that lead? Because if I come to you and I say, hey, I've got a listing lead, they're interested in selling, and you get on and I say, call them up, set an appointment. You call them up and go, hey, so Robert had a wait, do you even wait, Robert? Oh, wait, do you know Robert? Oh, yeah, he was this guy. He gave me this. You ain't getting that listing, not getting the appointment because you don't know what to say. You're not prepared to talk to a seller. Or even if I did set the appointment for you, we even skipped another step. Hey, they're expecting you there Friday at 4 o'clock. And you go there and you don't have a CMA prepared. You haven't studied the market stats. You haven't done all these things. You're not going to get the listing. You're not prepared. You have to prepare. You know, this is not an athlete quote, but a quote from Les Brown, who is a motivational speaker. He says, it's better to prepare and not have an opportunity to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Right? So think about that with your business. You have to be prepared. You know, what going back to like Dom Hudson said, for every pass I caught in a game, I caught 1,000 in practice. How many listing presentation practices are you doing compared to the number of listing presentations you're actually going on? You should have that same mentality. Hey, for every listing presentation I've gone on, I've done 5 in practice, you know? For every contact I make prospecting, I've done 10 times as many role playing. You have to prepare. You have to know what to say. You have to know how to say it. You have to prepare. You have to know the market stats. Here's a challenge that I always like to give to people, two different challenges, is that if I was stuck in an elevator, I'm stuck in an elevator with you. You were going up to the 10th floor, so you got about 12, 13 seconds. And I said, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house. What's the market like? What would you, and I would say, go, right? On the spot. And if you go, I'm like, well, we're already on the 4th floor and you're still at, okay, this is not going well. Okay. But you have to be prepared for that elevator speech. Or if I came to you, and this is something Tony Smith did to me years ago, and he said, imagine you're the LA Times comes to you and they said, hey, check this out. We're going to put you on the front page of the LA Times. We want you to write a half-page article. Again, it's going to go on the front page of the LA Times. Now, remember, this was back when newspapers were a really big deal. Okay. This isn't year 2 for me. If I'm going to put you on the front page of the LA Times and I need you to write a half-page article for the paper describing the current real estate market, and I need it by noon tomorrow. He said, how confident would you be in writing that article? And I was like, damn, that's a good question. Right? But that could happen. That could happen because who's to say you won't get a call, text, email from a past client or a center of influence or a lead or someone right now saying, hey, we are finally ready to sell our house, but I'm leaving, this weekend. Is there any way you can come by tonight? Right? That happens. So, but are you going to be prepared to go, or are you going to be like, oh, can we do it tomorrow? Like, you got to be prepared for every situation. The other thing I wrote down here with preparation is knowing what the client's going to say. See, the beauty about real estate is there's generally no surprises. So here's what I mean by that. you should be able to handle every objection really easily and have three or four ways of handling it because there's probably never going to be a surprise objection. Okay. Well, like you should never be in a situation and go, well, you know what? They didn't like the commission. That's wild. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, what'd you say? I'm stressed out over here. They know another agent. No. Holy cow. Right? So, but if you're not prepared, every objection seems tough, right? But let's take it a step further. I did a class yesterday, and I know Hunter's been doing it at the role play at 8 a.m. is holiday objection. Well, Robert, they want to wait till after the holidays. They want to wait till after the election. What do I say? Gotta be prepared for those things. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go on the appointment and see what happens. Okay. So you have to be prepared at all times. Right. So, that would be a challenge. Actually, if anyone wants to record themselves or or practice that, with your people, is do that. Say, just walk up. I feel like I'm going to create an issue. Walk up to one of your accountability partners and just say, "Hey, we're on an elevator. We're going to the 10th floor, and I'm asking you right now, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house. What's the market like? Go." And see what they say, right? Because you should be able to just by boom. That's the type of preparation you should always have. All right, couple more here. What we can learn from top athletes. I wrote down here they don't stop. They don't stop. Okay. All right, some of the quotes on that. Vince Lombardi, famous football coach, says once you learn to quit, it becomes a habit. Michael Jordan, I've never lost a game. I just ran out of time. Yeah, yeah, I know Michael Jordan is used a lot. That's because, he's one of my idols. So we'll be fine. I never lost the game. I just ran out of time. JJ Watt, football player, success isn't owned, it's leased, and rent is due every day. Right? Steve Prefontaine, runner, track star. Somebody may beat me, but they are going to have to bleed to do it. Okay. Steve Nash, basketball player. I'm playing. I'm here. I'm going to fight until they tell me they don't want me anymore. Muhammad Ali, I don't count the sit ups. I only start counting when it starts hurting because they're the only ones that count. That's what makes me a champion. They don't stop, right? These top athletes don't stop. It's, that Michael Jordan quote, I never lost a game. I just ran out of time, because I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to keep coming at you. I'm going to keep going, right? And there was, it reminds me, it's a kind of it's a fictional character, but Rocky Balboa, for those of you that know the Rocky character, he was just the guy that kept stop. One of my all-time favorite movie quotes. All-time favorite movie quotes is from Rocky 2. Now you have to have seen the first Rocky. And some of you have no idea and no interest what I'm talking about. This will be over in 30 seconds. But the first Rocky, you have Apollo Creed, the super polished fighter, and then you have this Rocky Balboa. And Apollo Creed is just beating the hell out of Rocky, and Rocky just keeps coming at him, right? So in Rocky 2, they're talking about a rematch, and Apollo's manager goes, I saw you beat that man like I've never seen a man get beaten before, and that man kept coming after you. We don't need that kind of man in our lives. Like that is one of my all-time favorite movie quotes. And it's because it's just that's it. Like Rocky was just, I get it, it's a fictional character, right? But that was him. He was just like, dude, the Apollo just kept beating him, and he just kept getting up and kept swinging and kept going, right? So, so you can't, and then eventually he wins, and you're a dread. All right, we're getting down the bad path. Anyways, but you get the point. They don't stop. Well, you got to think about that in real estate, right? This isn't, I talked about this the other day. This is not a short-term game. This is a long-term game. You can't stop because you had a bad day. You can't stop after a couple contacts when you got hung up on, you got the door slammed in your face. You can't stop because you got embarrassed. Oh, I had a bad week. I guess I should find something else to do. No, that's going to happen, right? I just went on a listing presentation. I got beat. Okay, fine. Go get another one, and go win this time. right? You don't stop. You keep going, keep going, keep going. And the biggest thing about real estate, that why most people don't make it successful in real estate, is they think at some point they can stop hustling. That's where people fail. I robbed for a few months, and then nothing worked out. Like, okay, well, I promise you, if you go to another career and you hustle for a few months, it probably won't work out there either, because you got to give it time. You got to keep going. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep grinding. Well, Robert, I'm 3 years in the business. Gosh, I did 5 deals. I did 8 deals. I did 10 deals. Man, I feel like I'm constantly grinding. I'm constantly hustling. Yeah, you're a salesperson. It's a gig, right? I mean, like you can grind, which I always like it when salespeople talk about grinding, because sitting in an air conditioned office talking on the phone is just a grind. It's just, whew, you know, my dad owned a roofing company, and he would take me roofing with him during the summer. I don't want to hear salespeople talking about grinding. I get it; it's hard work, right? It's hard work and it's mentally draining. But, and it's like, oh man, I don't want to do the grind anymore. I'm constantly hustling for deals. It's like, oh man, I'm sorry that, like, if you simply just talk to 20 people a day, that you could potentially make like $15,000 a deal. Like, that sucks, dude. I'm sorry. Right. So, but that's the problem. Like, we stop. You can't stop. You have to keep fighting. You have to keep going. You have to keep playing. Say, no, no, I'm going to get up every single day. That's why one of my favorite things that Mike Ferry says is you start every day at zero. I got 4 listings going on right now. That's great. What about today? Today is a brand new day. Why don't you go get number 5? Don't stop. Keep going, because eventually those deals will close. And if you stop, then what happens? Well, you're out of money. Okay. So you got to keep going. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep grinding. That's just part of the deal. That's part of the gig. And that's what these athletes do. Okay. That's the thing about real estate. Was funny, right? When you talk about people that quit, quitting is just a short-term I'm sorry, quitting is a short-term solution to a long-term problem. Because if you quit something, it doesn't impact you today. If you quit being a real estate agent today, it doesn't impact you today, right? Today, you just quit being a real estate agent. Where it impacts you is 10 years, 20 years down the line. Because once you quit something, then you quit another thing, and then you quit another thing, and then 10 years, 20 years down the line, you're still living paycheck to paycheck, and because you haven't built anything, you haven't gotten any better at anything. Quitting's a short-term solution to a long-term problem, right? It's the impact of quitting is over time. You have to give yourself a chance to win, because it becomes that habit. So you got to keep going. You got to keep that fight, which goes back to then keep learning, right? Keep learning. Don't keep going at a bad and doing things the wrong way. Just learn, but you can't stop. Got to keep fighting, keep grinding. All right, couple more things here. This one, obviously my favorite, right? They want to win. They want to win. Okay, so a couple quotes on that. Vince Lombardi: winning isn't everything, but wanting to win is. Okay, Bob Richard: there are certain basic qualities and characteristics you got to have. Number one, you've got to have a will to win. Paul Bryant, legendary football coach: winning isn't everything, but it beats anything that comes in second, right? George Steinbrenner, Yankees, again, winning is the most important thing in life after breathing. Breathing first, winning next. Okay. Tiger Woods: if you come in second, you're just the first loser. Right. Now, I understand some of those are kind of harsh. It's like, damn, dude, like I busted my ass and I lost, and you just called me the first loser. It's like, yeah, well, you want to win, man. Like, that's just the mentality you have to have. The thing that here's the thing, and obviously winning is kind of my thing. So, like, I could talk a lot about it, but if I could get anything across about this, when people say, well, they want to win, and everyone says, well, everybody wants to win. No, no, that's just not true. Because I love when people say, well, I want to win as much as the next person. That's false, because if you did, you'd win as much as they do, because there's nothing special about any of those people. I want to get, oh, I want a listing just as much as, Trace Emerson does. Well, that's obviously not true, because if you did, you'd have as many listings as he does, right? Assuming equal playing fields. Okay. Maybe you haven't built up a database that he has, so you're not calling the same type of people. But if you're on equal playing fields and one person's getting more listings than the other one, it's simply because the other one wants to win more than the other person does. Okay. Now, if you're not on equal playing fields, that's different. If you don't have a database like he does and you're calling neighborhoods, yeah, it's going to be harder to get listings, right? But you understand what I'm saying, assuming equal playing fields, right? You gotta want to win. It can't be okay to be second. It just can't, right? You have to really, really want. And that's the thing that people don't understand when it comes to winning. Oh, everybody wants to win. No, they don't. Some people, it's okay if they don't win. And that the difference between some of these great athletes or sports owners and things like that is like, no, that's not okay. I don't care about getting second. I don't care. It's like being an actor and they say, "Oh, you excited to be nominated?" No, I don't care about being nominated. I want to win the award. Like it's either that or nothing. And that's kind of the mentality you have to develop within yourself is I want to win every freaking day. I'm going to have a great day today. Something great's going to happen today. I'm going to get after it today, right? I'm going to win today. Or you're going on a listing appointment, you're interviewing another agent. I'm going to go win that listing. I'm not going to try to win the listing. I'm not going to give it my best shot. No, I'm going to freaking win that listing. You got multiple offers? Great. I'm going to get my buyer to win that freaking escrow. Like it's got to be that intensity, that mindset that you have to have. Otherwise, it's just like, I gave it my best shot. No, after your best shot. I want to win. That's what it's about. And so these athletes, that's their mentality. Now, you're not going to win every time, right? We just talked about that at the very beginning. You can't be afraid to fail. You're going to fail. You're going to lose. That's all part of the gig. And you could be the greatest real estate agent in the world, and you're still probably going to go on listing appointments and maybe get 80%. The greatest listing agent I know is Karen Bernardi. She lives in Colorado. She makes like $7 million a year selling real estate. And she gets 85% of her listing appointments, which means 15% of the time, somebody in Boulder, Colorado goes, hmm, like, why would you do that? Like, she's like, what sense does it make if you live in Boulder, Colorado, to not list with Karen Bernardi? But 15% of the time they go, oh, nah. It's like that's mind blowing to me. So you're not going to win every time. You're going to lose, and especially when you're building, you're going to lose a lot. But it's you just have to have that mentality. Every single time I want to win, it's not okay to lose. And if I do lose, I promise you that here's the other part of that winning mentality. I want to win. When I do lose, I'm going to figure out why I lost. I'm going to learn from it because I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to do it again. Okay. You're going to have to deal with me for the long run. And you may get me today because you did something a little bit better, you got a little bit more seasoned, or whatever the case may be. But the winning mentality is that you better enjoy that win now because I'm going to keep coming, right? Because as I said, they don't stop. I'm going to keep coming and I'm going to keep getting better. And pretty soon you're going to be like, damn, I guess now I'm the new second place person, right? That's what you got to have. And that's what some of these athletes have. All right. The last one I wrote down, actually, yeah, I'll go over this last one. The winning one is really where I should have ended because I wasn't really going to do this one because it's not totally relevant so much to real estate, but I'll just say it anyways. Is that they are visionaries. They're visionaries. And here's some of the quotes I wrote down in terms of visionaries. Michael Jordan, like, I get it. You have to expect things of yourself before you can do them. Frank Gaines says, only he who can see the invisible can do the impossible. Tom Landry says, today you have 100% of your life left. Wayne Gretzky says, a good hockey player plans where the puck is. A great hockey player plays where the puck is going to be. Right? Muhammad Ali, champions aren't made in the gym. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them, a desire, a dream, a vision. So they're visionaries, these top athletes. They're seeing they're not predicting the future, they're seeing the future. They're imagining what's possible for them. So what can we learn from that in terms of real estate? It's nothing you're going to learn from the execution standpoint. This is all believing in yourself. Okay. This is all having a business plan, a plan of action, a goal that you really believe in, and that internally within yourself, you're like, man, I could do that. right? That's what Michael Jordan says. You have to expect things of yourself before you can do them. You have to really believe you can be a great agent even before you are a great agent. Okay. You have to believe that you can get that listing even if you've never taken a listing. Okay. You have to believe that you can do that. Now, preparation helps that, right? But Frank Gaines, only he who can see the invisible can do the impossible. Because in order to do something you've never done, you have to believe in the invisible because you've never done it, right? It seems crazy to think about, but it's like, God, Robert, what if I could do 10 deals? And what's the most you've ever done? The most I've ever done is 4. Okay, great. And 10 deals is a lot. That's a lot of deals, right? The average agent does 3. This year will probably be less than 3. 10 deals is a lot. So it's like, but man, you've never done 10 deals. So you have to believe in the invisible. You have to believe that I could do 10 deals, even though I have no track record that I could do that. Okay. I have no proof that I have been able to do that. You have to believe in the invisible that you can do the impossible. Okay. So that's the kind of stuff you have to start thinking about from not an execution standpoint, but from a believing in yourself standpoint, right? You got to have that desire, that dream, that belief in yourself that you can do it. And you can look at, see, that's the thing about motivation. And we'll end with this, right? It's the thing about motivation. You could look at, oh, well, but this agent does it, but this agent does it, but that agent does it, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's great, right? Yeah, there's proof that agents can do certain things. But do you believe you could do that? Because if you don't believe you could do that, if you're on the fence on whether or not you think you can do that, or you don't have a desire to do that, then don't even make that the goal. Because some people have the ability to do things, but they don't have the desire. That's not a negative thing. It's just more about, hey, look, I know I could do this. I just don't want to, at this point in my life or this situation in my life, I don't want to put in the work to do that. And that's okay. But you have to believe that you can do it, and you have to have the desire to do it, which goes back to having those really strong goals and connections. And then, and only then, can you accomplish what was previously invisible to you. That's what these top athletes do. Questions on anything we went over today? All right, very good stuff. All
Coach
right.
Robert, can you hear me?
Yes.
Here's the question for you: is the lack of higher productivity completely related to the lack of stronger goals, or actually the majority, the lack of bigger goals?
Yes. Yeah. In my opinion, yes. And here's why. Probably the quote that I'm most probably that I've used the most for me, my own personal one is, if you don't know what you're going to do, if you don't know what you're going to exchange for the money, you're not going to do the work. And so the motivation to do high productivity simply comes from, you need a really good reason to do it. Otherwise, why would you? I mean, if you think about the concept of generating business in real estate, hey, you got to go get rejected a bunch of times. Well, that's not fun. You got to go talk to strangers. No, that's not fun either, right? None of that's fun. You got to deal with contracts, and like none of this is fun, really. Like, I mean, it's again better than roofing houses or digging ditches, in my opinion, but it's not fun. So in order for you, but those are necessary things to do high productivity. Okay, well then, if I'm going to get out of bed and go get rejected 15 times a day in order to achieve high productivity 20, 30 times a day, depending on where you're at in your business, I better have a damn good reason to do that. So I need to set a goal that excites me, that really gets me going and is going to drive me through the rest of the day, to where if I get rejected, if I go through those contract changes and all these other things that happen, it's like no big deal because I have a goal that I am very excited to accomplish. And that goal is in front of me all times. It's my screensaver on my phone, it's on my vision board, or whatever the case be. Then you can achieve high productivity. But if you don't have that, there's no freaking way you're going to go through the necessary steps to achieve any sort of high production level.
And now it's a great time to think about your goals. The
There you
end of the
go.
year,
Yeah.
dial it
Yeah.
in.
y- Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The fourth quarter is a great time to look at your goals. For that reason is because it's also the easiest time of the year to slack off. And so it really is. It's the easiest time of year to slack off. And we could talk about all the reasons why it shouldn't be because you have less competition and all these other things. But it is because you can convince yourself, well, it's holidays. I got family. There are technically less transactions being done this time of year. This year also happens to be an election. Like you can convince yourself all the reasons to slack off. But to Elizabeth's point, it's a great time to look at your goals to keep you fired up for the rest of the year so you're not distracted by holidays or anything else that comes out in the news. But yes, Martin, I believe, and everyone could be different, I believe that the most important thing for a real estate agent to do is have really strong, exciting goals to them, not to everybody else, and have those goals in front of them all the time. That's when you'll do the work. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. And what I mean by to them, just to kind of put a bow on that comment, is sometimes people set goals because it's like a goal they're supposed to set, but not a goal that excites them. And what I mean by that is, well, what's your goal? Oh, well, I want to save up money so my kids don't have to take out student loans. And it's like, all right, that's a good goal. Like, does that excite you? But then for some people, that really excites them. For some people, it doesn't. That doesn't make you a bad parent, by the way. Okay. But it just doesn't excite you. So it's like, okay, so you put down a goal because you felt like you were kind of supposed to put that down, right? But it's not a goal that you really want to do. It's not a goal that you really want to fight, you know, or it's, because you might be the type of person where it's like, oh my, because then you're going to wake up one day and be like, oh God, it's early. But I don't want my kids to have student loan debt. You know what? They're forgiving student loans like by the boatload right now. So I mean, they'll be fine. Interest rates are like 1% on student loans. Fine. That'll be okay. That's gonna happen, right? Oh, my family really wants to go to Italy, and oh, okay, yeah, sure. So yeah, I want to take the family to Italy, and one day you're gonna wake up and go, I'm pretty sure the Italian restaurant down the street, I'm pretty sure they're from Italy. So like, why do we need to go? Get authentic Italian food right there. Come on, Chuck E. Cheese, that pizza. So that's why you have to have a goal that's significant to you, exciting to you, all right, and not just what you're supposed to put down there. Now, you could be that could, but everybody's different. That's a good question. And yes, Martin, I will email that over to you.
Thank you, Robert.
Other questions or anything that we went over today? All right, very good. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate you being here. Hopefully, you got one or two decent nuggets out of that. And if you didn't, hopefully, we were entertained for a Thursday afternoon. Other than that, we got a lot of positive things going on, man. I'm just so freaking proud of the agents we have in this company. You all are doing such amazing things. Just because I'm not in the off, might not be in your office very often, or I might not be on Zoom all the time, doesn't mean A, I'm not working because I'm freaking traveling all over the place. And B, doesn't mean I don't know what's going on. So I appreciate all of you. I'm very proud of this company and the agents that we have working. Very, very cool stuff going on. This is just the beginning of the fun. We got a lot of great things happening. And I got to tell you, next 18 months, I've been saying that for a while now, but the next 18 months, we're going to have a good run. All right, everybody, if you need anything from me, don't hesitate to reach out. Other than that, let's have a great rest of your Thursday and go get some more deals.